Hi, everyone. It is a beautiful Sunday, and I noticed today that I didn't get a lot of people voting on which story they want. And I was actually really happy about that because you know what that means? It means you were outside and it means you were busy and you were doing a lot of stuff. And that makes me really happy to know. Tonight we're going to be reading a story called The Raven. But first I wanted to show you something that I forgot to show you yesterday. Remember yesterday I read you my book called Sometimes, and I told you that I had pieced some together. Well, I wasn't kidding. I actually really did originally piece them together when I bound them with nuts and bolts, because I had bought a stapler that was supposed to be able to staple like really thick binding, but it didn't work. So I used nuts and bolts. But now I don't have to do that because we have a different option now. So anyways, I'm going to flip the camera around. We're reading a fantastic story tonight called Raven. And you guys all know how much I love ravens, my favorite bird. Let's switch it around. I have to stand up because this book has big pages. Raven, a Trickster Tale from the Pacific Northwest by Gerald McDermott. Raven came. All the world was in darkness. The sky above was in darkness. The waters below were in darkness. Men and women lived in the dark and the cold. Raven was sad for them. He said, "I'll search for the light." Raven flew across valleys and across mountains. He flew along rivers and over lakes. There was darkness all around. Then he saw a bit of light far away. He flew and came closer to the light. The light was at the edge of the water. The light came from the house of the Sky Chief, and it was shining. Raven perched high in a pine tree on the shore. Raven watched. Wonder what's happening there. There's the raven going to the pine tree. He saw a beautiful young girl emerge from the shining house and go to the edge of the water. She was the Sky Chief's daughter. She knelt and drank some water from a woven basket. Raven changed himself into a pine needle. I wonder why he changed himself into a pine needle. He fell down from the tree and floated on the water. When the girl drank again, she swallowed the pine needle. Oh. Uh-oh. After a time, the girl gave birth to a child. The child was small and dark, with shiny black hair and tiny black eyes. Who do you think the child was? It was Raven. Raven was reborn as a boy child. The Sky Chief was delighted with his daughter's child. He called him grandchild. He played with the boy and carved toys with him. He invited the elders to come and see the curious, wonderful child. The elders gathered in the shining house with the Sky Chief and his daughter. They watched Raven crawl around the floor of the lodge. He pretended to be playing. All the time he was trying to find where the light was hidden. He saw a box in the corner of the lodge. There it is. So Raven is looking for the light. The box was large. It was carved and painted with many colors. The box was bright. It glowed. Raven Child said, "Ga, ga." I wonder if the ga, ga would sound like a raven when they say caw, caw. "What do you want?" asked his mother. Raven Child said, "Ga, ga." He began to cry. "What does the child want?" asked the elders. Raven Child said, "Ga, ga." He cried and cried. My grandchild wants the box," said the Sky Chief. They're confused. It's hard to understand babies sometimes. The young woman placed the box in front of the Raven Child, but he continued to cry. Make your crying sound. Ah. She took the lid off the box. Inside was a smaller box. She took the lid off that box. Inside was a smaller box. His mother took the lid off that box, and light poured out of it. Light flooded the room. Inside the box was a shining ball blazing with light. What do you think the ball was? It was sun. "Give him the ball," said the Sky Chief. Oh, wow. The chief said he can have the sun. His mother gave Raven Child the ball. Raven Child stopped crying. He began to play with it. He rolled it around the floor of the lodge. Ga, ga. Then he changed into a bird. Ha, ha. He became Raven once again. Caw, caw. Sky Chief, his daughter, and the elders looked on in amazement. Raven plucked up the ball of light in his beak, flew through the smoke hole of the lodge, and disappeared into the dark sky. Bye, Raven boy. Where are you going? Raven flew over the valley and the mountains. He flew along the rivers and across the lakes. Raven threw the sun high in the sky, and it stayed there. This is how Raven stole the sun and gave it back to all the people. No more dark days. And why do people always feed Raven? To thank him for bringing them light. The end. Do you have any animals that you like to feed? Safely, of course. Not deer, right? I love watching bird feeders, and I love watching squirrels eating pine cones and all of the different animals that hunt and harvest in different ways. It's very fascinating. If you could be an animal in the wilderness, what kind of animal would you be? And how would you help the world? If you want to tell me that story, I would love to hear about it. I hope that you have a great night and you enjoyed that story. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to read The Sandcastle. See you at 7 o'clock. Bye, friends.